you know, moving and building this entire kitchen distracted me so hardcore from just sitting in the studio and making music and enjoying life, working, being productive, being creative. Now that it's finally over, it's finally all done, we just need to remove the blue foil. The kitchen is white, don't worry. Let's head back to the studio, have some fun, make some music and just enjoy ourselves. So yeah, welcome to the studio. Today's main mission is making the vocals on one of my new songs. It's a cover of Never Leave You by Lumid. Make these vocals sound as perfect as possible. Alter them, fake them, kind of Photoshop them with audio to get them to full pop song quality. So whenever it comes to vocals, the number one key is of course having a good source. The starting point is the most important. So you need a singer that is actually able to perform. If someone can't perform, you can still correct it, but like people that are trained will always hear it. So still, although there's a lot of faking potential with the computer and modern techniques, you can still distinguish a good from a bad singer. So we recorded roughly around 2 weeks ago in the vocal booth a singer. It really all starts with making these vocals sound as good as possible by picking the right microphone. For example, this one right here will sound a lot different compared to, for example, the Shure microphone. And the right microphone can already have a huge impact on the sound. If you record with your iPhone, it won't sound that good. If you record with a 300-400 euros mic, it will be already better. It will be able to pick up more dynamic range, better, kind of more accurate quality. And if you pay 10,000 for a microphone, you get that certain extra percent that is debatable, but yeah, maybe some coloring, some vintage kind of vibe to it. The next influence might be actually already the room. Like if the room is acoustically treated, like all of this absorbing material, you can hear my voice right now. It sounds very dry. It's just my voice. Compared to me in the hallway, it's a huge difference. And then the next part in the vocal chain is the outboard gear. It gets sometimes used, not all the time, because you can do a lot more in the computer nowadays. And that's what we will talk about next, because that's the part where the big faking is happening. Because the mic selection, yes, it changes here, there, 5 to 10% maybe. The singer is a huge factor. But what you can do in the computer is really, like, it's crazy. So just for example, these tracks right here that you see, the very first one, is the one I'll play to you right now.
Now that your loving's back, we're happy, it's a fact. Can nothing hold us back, we are back on track.
She got a nice voice, that's a good recording, it's very clean, there is no noise in it, so we won't have to correct it as much as you might have to if someone can't sing. But this is like a real life scenario. It's not like taking the worst vocal ever and make it passable. This is taking something good and making it extremely good. So the first step would be actually comping. And comping just means cutting together the multiple takes we did that day. Because it's a human singing. Humans aren't perfect. So we need to record it 10, 20 times sometimes. And like put it together. That's already where the faking starts. Like every word is the best that was performed on that day. So all of these that you see right here from 1, 2, 3, 4 up until 10 are the 10 takes we made. For example, number 9 is a take that we just aborted. That's why it's not up until the end. But now all of them like stacked on top of each other, you can just select different parts of different takes and it gets combined up here. So we could, for example, select clip number 5 for the first half, and the second half would be then from recording number 4.
Like we are back on track, there ain't no maybe, no question of your baby.
That's already a huge factor, being able to use every single word and just like the perfect parts from the recording. The next one is actually stacking vocals, because just having this one take is not enough if you stack it with left and right doubles, harmonies, octave up and down. It will sound a lot richer, and the trick here is to make it sound like still one voice at the end in the song. But if you listen closely, you can actually hear that it's multiple put together. Let me show you.
Oh, 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 oh.
That's the main vocal. Then on top, the doubles, just the same again.
Oh, 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 oh.
And then harmonies to thicken it up even more.
Oh, 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 oh.
And then even another harmony take.
Oh, 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 oh.
And honestly, this is done in every single track. Like every single pop track, at least on the chorus, has doubles or harmonies or even both, just to make it thick and sound different to the verses. And the verses usually just like the clean standard recording, maybe with some doubles, really depending on the style and what you're going for. But this is usually in there. This example right here isn't mixed, so all of them were pretty loud and obvious for you to hear. It's usually a little more subtle. Next up is EQing. It's kind of polishing the voice a little, the frequencies of the voice. You could go quite extreme. Cut away all of the low end. Cut the top end to make it sound like a Drake song. But in most cases, you try like to push the top end a little to get like a sparkle in the higher frequencies, and then removing unwanted frequencies, adding some. This is highly depending on the voice. It really depends. And making this really count and making it right can take years to learn. The next step in faking it is compression. Very basically just making sure the voice has the same volume throughout. You can see this on stage. Good singers will remove the mic a little from their mouth whenever they sing really loud and get it closer when they sing quieter. The same thing is the compressor. It makes the quiet parts in an audio louder and more equal to the rest, so that it's all like same volume throughout. Next up, reverb. Pretty straightforward, not much to explain. Reverb makes everything sound alive. There's a simple reason why we record in a vocal booth without reverb, so we have more room to play with reverb in software and can just do whatever we want. You could also record in a church, but then what you record already has that fixed reverb. And like adding a reverb to a reverb or removing a reverb is not a good idea. That's quite a lot of reverb. I love reverb. I don't know, like reverb is by far my favorite. And then you could also add delay. This really, again, depends on the style you're going for. You would usually definitely use something way more subtle. And now let's get to the real like Photoshop part, because there's way more you can change, and that's what everyone is talking about. Auto-tune, which corrects your pitch or can correct your pitch, and also like the flex pitch time built into Logic. In this kind of mode, you can change the pitch of every single note that she sings.
Now that your loving's back,
you just drag and drop.
Now that your loving's back, we're happy. Now that your loving's back, we're happy. Now that your loving's back, we're happy. It's a fact.
Since she's already singing pretty good, I have to make it extremely bad for you to hear the difference. But with it, you can, like, even a perfect singer will here or there like be a little sharp or flat on some notes. You can make it sound perfect if you want to. It's a stylistic choice if you want to leave it natural or like really make it super tight. And pop music, usually it's made extremely tight. Like all of the notes are just perfect. And if you can't sing at all and then add this effect, a lot of auto-tune that will correct your singing to the key of the song, you will have that typical T-Pain auto-tune effect. I'm not a big fan of it, but it enables people that can sing to actually sing, and it's kind of cool. And then also you can totally control the timing. So these little markers, you can move them left or right.
Now that your loving's...
That was maybe too extreme, just a little.
Now that your loving's back.
We could make the back shorter.
Now that your loving's back, we're happy it's a fact.
Just again here for demonstration, extreme settings. But yeah, you can change the pitch, you can change the timing, you can record every single word on its own. So if you know how to work the software, how to work the equipment, you can pretty much make anyone sing. It's just a lot more work and usually not worth it. So you should start with the source again, a good one, a good singer, someone that actually knows how to perform. It's a lot more fun to work with someone that knows what they're doing. And if you want a perfect result, everything in this chain, everything that's been done to the vocals needs to be as perfect as possible. And that's basically how vocals are getting faked or corrected and to perfection in pop music. There is also an alternative way to do it, but this could backfire, the Milli Vanilli or whatever they were called kind of approach, just to let someone else sing it for you, and then whenever you're performing live, just to lip sync it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that's working. Like nowadays with the internet, everything being shared, and everyone has to like share themselves singing and doing a lot of covers and Instagram and stuff. I think this wouldn't be possible anymore, luckily. Anyways, thanks all for watching. I hope this was like a nice quick insight into how vocals are being processed. And tomorrow, of course, back again here in the studio, I will hopefully finish the song like the next 4 or 5 hours, doing all I showed you in way more detail on probably 150 takes that we recorded. So it's not the most fun part of music production, but it still has to be done to get that perfect song at the end.